We're not in the trolling world. I'm not in the Farmers League world. I'm in someone who enjoys watching football, whatever country it is in. My concern would be from a German perspective, and just because it's happened before and it's traditionally what has happened, so it's okay, that doesn't make it better, does it? That doesn't make the fact that Bayern Munich are making themselves stronger, and yet again they're going to win the league next season, that doesn't make for a better product.
But I agree with you, Dan, and I think that we should analyse this. And in a week where we go out from the Super League discussion, everybody talking about the 50+1 thing being so great, everything, there are weaknesses to that system as well. Because if you go into the English Premiership now, as we are speaking, there are the Leicesters of this world, there are West Ham, there are Everton, Tottenham, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester United, Manchester City, all these teams chasing for that Champions League place. That is not so in Germany. Okay, we have a fight for the fourth position of the Champions League, but 9 times in a row, that is embarrassing for German football. And to develop German football, you need the opposition or the opponents, the other teams, to get better. And of course, if you see the product from outside, the German football, very good organized. They want to be shown all around the world. They want to be a great, great product. But of course, if you know that Bayern will win over and over again, but not only that, if there is a team who has the most talented defender, you give him to Bayern. If you have the most talented manager, you give him to Bayern. When you had Robert Lewandowski at Dortmund, you give him to Bayern. Of course, for the brand Bundesliga, we have to be honest. I love the Bundesliga, but we have to be honest. That is not good for them. And that is, take away all the trolls, taking away the Farmers League and all that kind of thing. This is not good for the Bundesliga. It's not good for German football.
I think, Dan, you have to say here as well, it's on the shoulders of RB Leipzig, given that they've come in, they circumvented the 50+1 rule, and they have a lot of resources that they have not challenged Bayern harder. But also, Borussia Dortmund, sure, they're having a strong end to this season, but it should not be 9 in a row. There is no way that Bayern should have won the 2019 title when Niko Kovac was in charge. Dortmund absolutely choked in that season. So there have been opportunities in between, and Borussia Dortmund have actually misspent a hell of a lot of money since they last won the Bundesliga. And I think that it's down to, you have to try and catch Bayern Munich. But the problem is not just in the Bundesliga. You see what has happened across European football across the last decade, how the money has become so polarizing to the Champions League. Some of this is beyond the Bundesliga's control. When the Champions League gives you so much TV money to Bayern, it increases the resources that much, and that they've spent it that well, then what can you do in that instant?
But your problem is that there is a mental thing to this as well, because you said it, Archie. Some of the best talent, best stars, okay, we can start there, but also the biggest talent. Just take the Dortmund guys. You have Haaland, Sancho, Bellingham, Reina. You have all these great, great talents being there. They want to be in a competitive league. They want to see their team that they can win a title. Now Dortmund and RB Leipzig as well, some great talents there running around for them. Sabitzer, a great underestimated midfielder, Campbell and Liner and so on in midfield for RB Leipzig. What future do they see in German football when we can't challenge anything? The only way they can win a title in Germany is to go to Bayern Munich. And that is a sad part of it, because that is the Arsenal illness, with having all the young talents, knowing that you won't win any title as long as you're there at that time for Wenger at the end there. And that is the problem now. And I feel that is my worry now, that to see that Bayern will just keep on winning as long as they take the key members away from their opposition. And to be fair, Bayern have done that over the years. But now, for example, they had a chance. Upamecano, they couldn't do anything because he had a clause. Nagelsmann doesn't have a clause. So they could have stopped him. But that is the dynamic of football. That is especially the dynamic of the Bundesliga. That would never happen. That would never happen in England, that number one will take the manager of number two.
just finally as well, I think that the fact that some of the biggest clubs in the Bundesliga, in terms of financial budgets, I'm thinking Wolfsburg, Bayer Leverkusen, Hoffenheim have an above average budget. It doesn't help when you've got so many of those clubs, including RB Leipzig, in the Bundesliga, where actually they're just happy enough if they finish around the European places. You know, more traditional clubs, if they had that kind of money, that wouldn't be good enough. You see that from a Premier League perspective, for example. Like, Arsenal and Tottenham can't get away with that without there being wholesale changes every single year. But there's just not that same pressure if you're playing for Bayer Leverkusen or Wolfsburg or Hoffenheim, because you know that ultimately, if you lose, that's the problem. So we need to see more Eintracht Frankfurt. We need to see more of these, I think, traditional clubs to really light the fire under German football again.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.